This is a very big moment in the pandemic. Right now, kids as young as 5 years old are getting their first doses of Pfizer's COVID vaccine. This comes after the CDC authorized those doses just yesterday for the youngest age group yet. This makes 28 million children now eligible for a COVID vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci says this will lessen the risk of getting the virus, and this is key, not just for kids, but for everyone.
I think it's going to make the issue of schools much easier, much safer as we get more and more children. Before, we would surround the children with vaccinated people, like adults, like teachers, like school personnel. Now, if you have the children in addition to the personnel, that diminishes the risk considerably.
Millions of pediatric vaccine doses are already arriving at thousands of locations across the country. Joining us now, CNN senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen and CNN national correspondent Bryn Gingras. She's live in New York where those vaccinations are happening. Elizabeth, I want to start with you. The CDC director saying this moment should really be a cause for celebration for parents.
Absolutely. Parents of children ages 5 to 11, Erica, they have not been able to rest easy during this pandemic because their children were not as protected as they could be. So they were worried about their children getting COVID, as well as worrying, could their children spread it to vulnerable people like grandparents, like relatives and friends who are immune compromised. So let's take a look at this White House rollout and where the vaccines are going to be. I think we all remember the adults rollout back in December and January was, well, a bit rocky. This one looks like has all the signs of being much, much smoother. The rollout will be in pediatricians' offices. That's really key. Pediatricians are great at giving vaccines. They're used to ordering them. They're used to giving them. Also pharmacies, children's hospitals, schools, and other locations. Now, you mentioned the director of the CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. She talked a bit yesterday about addressing the question that parents have, which is, you know what, COVID doesn't affect children typically as severely as it affects adults. Why should I give a vaccine to my child? The answer really is that COVID can affect children quite terribly. Thousands and thousands of children have gotten very, very sick with COVID, been hospitalized. Many of them were perfectly healthy to begin with. Why would you want to roll the dice with your child? So let's take a listen to Dr. Walensky.
The chance that a child will have severe COVID, require hospitalization, or develop a long-term complication like MIS-C remains low. But still, the risk is too high and too devastating to our children, and far higher than for many other diseases for which we vaccinate children.
Now, polling has shown that some parents are hesitant about getting this vaccine for their children. Hopefully in the coming weeks, as they see other children get it, they see how well they're doing, hopefully some of that hesitation will go away. Jim, Erica?
Well, if getting an appointment is a sign of interest, in D.C. it's already hard to get an appointment. Of course, this is a part of the country where there hasn't been that same hesitancy, but clearly some demand. Bryn, you're in an urgent care facility in New York. Are you seeing big lines there? What are parents saying?
Yeah, there's a steady flow of kids actually coming into this doctor's office. I can tell you that they just received 600 doses of the vaccine for children on their doorstep this morning. That's in addition to the 300 they already had. So they have a good amount here, and they plan to actually go to schools later on and distribute the vaccine for children and parents who want it there. But I want to show you and introduce you to Zia and Catherine Bucci. Zia here is ready to get the vaccine, and she is excited because she has some plans, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But Catherine, I want to talk to you while Zia is getting the vaccine. Tell me, you were saying your husband's a pilot. This is a stress that you have felt for quite a while.
It is. We were out in Arizona. His job had taken us out there, and so we had lived out there for a while. And you know, things are very different than they are here in the city, and that's actually what brought us back to New York. Was the mask mandates and the safety in the schools. Everyone taking vaccination so seriously. So this is just thrilling.
Thrilling, and she's done. All done, Zia. Zia, you did great. You're such a trooper. Now tell me, got the vaccine. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're so excited.
I want to watch Hamilton on Broadway.
You want to go to Broadway and watch Hamilton because you know all the music. That's awesome. I bet they're going to be so excited to welcome you to that play. You did such a good job. This is hello to everyone. And I got to tell you, there are actually a lot of children here who are very excited because, guys, I know there is this stress that's taken off parents, but for kids too. I kids who said they just can't wait to take off their masks when they go to the playground. They can't wait to have a play date with their friends. So there is some feeling of just finally feeling liberated from this pandemic, and that comes today for these young kids. Guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way that Dia just looked as it was happening, right?